affirmation today is my words and my thoughts create my reality right now. And in New Thought, we absolutely hold this as one of the base tenets of our faith tradition because the things that we say, the things that we think, the things that we are putting out into the universe, they all come back to us. They create this reality, the world in which we live. How many of you have a child or maybe a niece or a nephew or a neighbor's child that is around you often, and you find yourself trying to watch your language to make sure you don't say any of those boo-boo words in front of them? Yes. And how often do any of you ever slip up, maybe? No, none of us ever do. You know, I have a good friend of mine who has some young children, and like a lot of young mothers, they have these little fences throughout the house so that the children can't go in the wrong area, and she's constantly having to hop over them because it's easier than taking it down and scraping her knees and shouting out a profanity and then catching herself after the fact. She got a call one day from the school, and the teacher said she wanted to talk to her about an incident that had happened. Well, it turned out that the child had fallen on the playground and scraped his head. She said she was so relieved that he'd just fallen down and cut his head because she was terrified that he had used one of those nasty words. And that would have been more horrible for her than the child actually falling down and getting hurt. So as you're walking through life, imagine that everything you're saying, there's a little child around you. So when you say a negative thing, when you say, you know what, I can't afford that, or I'm never going to get that job, or you know what, I know that I have this illness, or I'm never going to find that perfect relationship. Imagine that you're sending a little person around who's running around repeating all this, creating that reality for you, because that's how important, that's how meaningful our words are. So as we go through our week, remember, our words and our thoughts create our reality right now. And another sub-affirmation is the power is within you. The power is within you. The power to create a life of great happiness, great health, and great prosperity is right inside of you. It's the way that you think. It's the way that you speak. So if we walk around saying negative things all the time, we're going to be in a negative reality. This is the universe that we're going to create for ourselves. Our question this week, so as you go through your week, as you're at work, as you're going through your chores, am I using my words and my thoughts in a positive, productive way? This is very important because so many of us walk through life. We start our day, maybe Monday we wake up and we're dreading the week ahead. And so it's, oh my God, I got to go and do this. I think this great analogy I once heard was, do you wake up saying, oh God, it's Monday, or oh God, it's Monday? For a lot of us, it's the negative. And of course, that can set the tone for your whole week. Because if you start with this negative outlook, of course, you're going to get negative back. And I hear from a lot of people who think that, a lot of what we say is a little esoteric, that, oh, I can't really control my environment. I can't really control the world that I live in. Everything's just going to happen. Things are just going to fall in place the way they are, whether I'm positive or negative or indifferent. But the reality is, and if you do an experiment this week, go and think no negative thought. Think positive thoughts in everything, in every act, in every word, in every deed. I know that years ago when I first became a New Thought student, because that's what we are in New Thought, we're students, we're constantly learning and evolving, I would come to services on Sunday and I would hear all this great stuff and I would think, oh, that's so wonderful and interesting. And then I'd go to work on Monday and I'd think, well, none of that has any place here because this is the real world. And of course, over the years, as I became more and more involved, I realized, no, this is exactly where this is needed. This real world environment is where this becomes so important and so necessary and so absolutely inspirational. And now, of course, years and years later, I mean, this is a part of our daily routine. I can't tell you how many times in the course of business, it's the day before payroll and you don't have the cash, but rather than stressing out about it, you just positively affirm. And you know what? The resources always show up. They always show up. So again, as you're going through the week, am I using my words and my thoughts in a positive way? So think about this for yourself and the things that you're doing in life, but also when you go through life, because I overhear a lot of this a lot of times is, we say negative things about people, maybe our enemies or people we don't care much about. And so as you're saying this, you may think to your mind, well, I'm not saying anything negative about myself, so that's okay. But you're casting out this negative energy. So you need to be careful, because what you put out in the world, in the universe, is what you get back. So think positive in all circumstances, in all situations, and at all times. Use your words in a positive and productive way, because your words and your thoughts, they do really create your reality. And this is a great time for this as we go into the Thanksgiving holiday season. And a lot of us stop and remind ourselves to be thankful. Be thankful for these things that you have. Be thankful for the opportunity to know that you do have the power. The power is within you to live a life of great happiness, great health, and great prosperity through using your words and your thoughts in positive, productive ways. So the good news is, because we are the Good News Church, the good news is that we can have lives of great happiness, health, and prosperity. And these are major tenets in New Thought, is that we are children of God. We are created in the image of God. God is perfect, therefore we are perfect. And we are intended to have lives of great health, happiness, and prosperity. So the good news is that we can live lives of great happiness, health, and prosperity, and we are responsible for making it so. Our words, our thoughts, and also our deeds all have the power to create the world in which we live. Your words have power. Use them wisely. And we read in the scriptures, that was our scripture lesson this morning, that through God, all things are possible. And indeed, we know that all things are. We have to have the faith and know that the power is within you, because your words and your thoughts create your reality. So holding positive thoughts, holding positive words is going to create that positive reality that we all strive to live.